I want to talk about the addition of the linebacker room. Linebacker depth has been something that's been a challenge for us over the years. But now, the linebacker room is looking very, very strong. Very strong. And, you obviously have Zack Baun. You have Zack Baun, somebody who signed a 3-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. Zack Baun is an all-pro defender, first-team all-pro, a defensive player of the year finalist, a Super Bowl champion, was arguably one of the best players on a Super Bowl defense, the number one defense in football. He shores up your linebacker room, but you also had Nakobe Dean, who was coming off a career year. Unfortunately, that career year was cut short in the playoffs in the wild card round where he tore his patella tendon. And now he's going to be starting the season on the PUP list. And we may not see Nakobe Dean until about maybe week 6, week 7, depending on where he is in his recovery and rehab. So Nakobe Dean, despite his potent and effective year 3, and how effective and dominant he was throughout the season, and how strong of a playoff game he had prior to that injury, he's somebody that strongly contributed to the number one defense, but he's hurt now. And the Philadelphia Eagles have to start to consider what life will be like without him. And I'm not just talking about what life will look like without him on the roster. I'm talking about what life will look like with just him not being active, right? Because I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they like Nakobe Dean. I think they love Nakobe Dean, actually. Howie Roseman and this coaching staff, they've done everything possible to make sure Nakobe Dean had a fair shot at being a starter. And he did just that. He earned it. But unfortunately, he got hurt in the playoffs, despite having an amazing season. Now, the Eagles add to that linebacker room. They add to it. Remember, they drafted Jeremiah Trotter Jr. last year, right? But they added linebacker Jihaad Campbell in the first round. And they also added Georgia linebacker Smael Mondon out of Georgia. So Jihaad Campbell out of Alabama, Smael Mondon out of Georgia. Both of those guys are SEC guys. Two of the best programs in the nation when it comes to college football. So they didn't just bring any slouches in here. And you got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. another year in. So that room is stacked right now. And Nakobe Dean is going to have to really battle back. Nakobe Dean isn't just going to have to battle injury or the recovery, but he's also going to have to battle competition at his position. Because I think Jihaad Campbell, with everything he brings to the table, not just as a box linebacker, but his ability in coverage, run defense, his sideline to sideline range, his ability to rush the quarterback. One may argue Jihaad has higher upside. On top of that, Jihaad Campbell's size, 6'3", 235. You look at Smael Mondon, 6'2", 224, compared to Nakobe Dean's 5'11", 221? 231, excuse me. Compared to Nakobe Dean's 5'11", 231. And Nakobe Dean has also shown, that he can get to the quarterback. He can rush. He can get to the backfield. He can split between the A-gaps. He's shown he can do that. But 5'11", 231, battled injuries throughout his career, had an amazing 2024 campaign, was cut short in the playoffs with a torn patella injury. So now the injuries come back. Eagles say, you know what? We got to hedge our bet, man. We're drafting Jihaad Campbell at linebacker, 6'3", 235. We're in a 4.5, 240-yard dash. He ran the same 40-yard dash as Nakobe Dean with 14 more pounds on him. Being a taller and overall heavier prospect. Jihaad Campbell ran the same 40-yard dash and just has better measurables. And he's younger, 21 years old. Nakobe Dean is 24 right now. You bring in Smael Mondon, who's 22, ran a 4.58 40. It's not a 4.52, but it's 4.58. And he had a 1.52 10-yard split. Jihaad Campbell had a 1.53 10-yard split. The competition is deep. It's not going to be an easy proposition for Nakobe Dean. I'm telling you that right now. And I just think that maybe the Eagles look at Nakobe Dean and say, hey, we like you. We want you on this roster, but you know, you gotta take what we offer you. That's another thing. Nakobe Dean is entering the final year of his contract. The final year of his contract. And he's entering it hurt. And he may miss 5 or 6 games. Now, Jihaad Campbell, here's the thing though. There's a chance Jihaad Campbell, because he got surgery in the offseason on that labrum, on that shoulder, there's a chance Jihaad Campbell may start the season on the PUP list. There's a chance for all of that. So there's a strong chance your starting linebackers come week 1 could be Zack, Baun, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Just because Nakobe Dean and Jihaad Campbell are currently rehabbing. Smael Mondon, let's get to his draft profile because we know a lot about Jihaad Campbell already. But let's get to Smael Mondon, somebody who's an underrated player, underrated prospect. 6'2", 224, went to Georgia, was the 9th ranked linebacker in his draft class. Ran a 4.58 40-yard dash. He's considered to be a multi-role linebacker. 22 years old, was invited to the Senior Bowl. Had a 1.52 10-yard split. 79-inch arms with a 130-inch broad jump. Or a 79-inch wingspan, 32-inch arms. Has an 89% tackling grade, a 75% pass rush grade, a 75% run defense grade, and a 71% coverage grade. Was a 5-star athlete coming out of high school, according to ESPN and 24/7 Sports, and a 4-star according to Rivals.com. Smael Mondon, it says here, as far as the scouting report summary, Mandon is a walking definition of a better athlete than football player at this stage. Despite possessing rare explosiveness and sideline-to-sideline speed that jumps off the screen, his tape reveals a defender who hasn't fully harnessed those tools into consistent playmaking. His coverage ability remains surprisingly pedestrian despite world-class movement skills, suggesting his processing speed and route recognition lag behind his physical capabilities. There's a clear disconnect between what his body can do and what his mind is telling it to do, particularly when diagnosing complex route combinations or reading backfield action. The right landing spot would be a defense with established leadership and simplified gap responsibilities that allow him to play fast while learning the nuances of the position. His athletic traits scream top 5 selection, but the inconsistent tape and medical concerns push him closer to the 4th-round neighborhood. So, Zack Baun is somebody who's experienced. Jeremiah Trotter's been in the league for a year, playing with those guys as well. Nakobe Dean is experienced, right? Vic Fangio brings a ton of knowledge. So he's in a good situation to harness that, to be able to marry that athletic skill with the football nuances, the football IQ. It says teams like Cincinnati, Minnesota, and the New York Jets make sense as landing spots where veteran defenders could mentor him while he measured in years. While it says here, teams like Cincinnati, Minnesota, and the New York Jets make sense as landing spots where veteran defenders can mentor him while he contributes in sub packages and in special teams. The development runway must be measured in years rather than weeks, allowing his mental processing to catch up to his remarkable physical gifts. What makes Mondon so intriguing is the untapped potential still simmering beneath the surface. When he operates purely on instinct, like shooting a clean gap on a blitz or pursuing a screen to the flat, you witness flashes of what could become an impact defender if the mental game ever clicks. Every NFL team employs coaches who believe they can be the ones to unlock that potential, turning elite traits into elite production. Those who trust their development program, like the Eagles, will bet on Mondon's ceiling rather than his floor, knowing the payoff could be substantial if they can bridge the gap between his athletic testing and his actual play. The ultimate question isn't whether Mondon has the physical tools to thrive at the next level. It's whether he can refine those tools into consistent, instinctive linebacker play against increasingly complex NFL offenses. So here's the thing, right? Excellent talent, excellent measurables, excellent gifts, but the football IQ needs to elevate. He's somebody that's going to play a lot of special teams. He adds depth to the linebacker room, and he's going to be very effective on special teams. With all that speed, all that power, all that athleticism, Smael Mondon is prime for special teams, man. He's the perfect special teams player for the Eagles. But this linebacker depth is interesting. The linebacker depth is in a good place right now. Zack, Baun, Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jihaad Campbell, Smael Mondon. They also brought in this kid, Lance Dixon, out of Toledo. Lance Dixon played with Quinyon Mitchell, I believe, along with Maxon Hook. So the Eagles tapped into that Toledo talent pool once again. We also got this guy named Dallas Gant on the roster. And Ben Van Sumeren, he operates as a fullback and a linebacker on this roster. But again, overall, those top guys, though, Baun, Dean, Trotter Jr., Campbell, and Smael Mondon, those are the guys we're looking at, really. And Smael Mondon is definitely going to be somebody who contributes on special teams, along with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And I think Jihaad Campbell, when him and Nakobe Dean get healthy, that's going to be something to watch, man. And it's going to be really exciting to see. And Zack Baun is going to lead. He's going to lead that charge.